This story is often set in a college dorm or an apartment shared by two young women. It's Saturday night, and one of them readies for a big date. The other decides to stay at home for the evening, maybe get a little reading done. While the one young lady is dolled up and ready for a good time, the other is already in her night clothes and looks forward to a relaxing night by herself. Her roommate gathers herself together, wishes her friend a good night, and takes off for the evening.
Have fun reading your book. Okay, bye, sweetie. Bye.
The other roommate gets herself cozy and settles in. Later, she becomes drowsy and decides it's time for sleep. Maybe right here on the comfy couch. In short order, she drifts off to dreamland. But in the wee hours of the morning, she awakens with a start. Something has disturbed her sleep. An eerie scratching sound outside her front door. Bleary-eyed and confused, she gets up and moves towards the door to find out what's going on. But as she approaches, she hears a strange gurgling sound on top of the scratching. It's chilling and unearthly. Now frightened, the young woman notices the door is unlocked. Cautiously, silently, she creeps toward the door. Marshaling all her nerve, she reaches the threshold and quickly locks the door. Then bolts back to the couch in fear. Recoiling under her blanket, she cowers in terror as the scratching and gurgling continue. Now, paralyzed with fright, she can't bring herself to move. Eventually, the bizarre sounds cease. Early the next morning, she awakens again, having dozed off while curled up under the blanket. The morning light brings a clarity to her head, and she wonders if she dreamed about the strange episode the night before. Carefully, she moves again to the door and opens it. To her horror, she discovers the sounds were no dream. Her roommate lies dead in the hallway with her throat slit. A nightmare on her doorstep. But is the story true? The most common locale for the legend is a college dorm room, a place where young women are on their own for the first time. The victim is usually a freshman, and always female. And the time period is generally during a holiday break, when the campus is largely deserted. The whole scenario plays into parental fears about their daughters being out on their own. So it may be no surprise that the story emerged in the early 1960s, when women first began attending college in large numbers. The legend grew as co-eds on campus became more common. One variation on the legend adds the grisly detail of the victim's fingertips having been worn down to bloody stumps from scratching desperately at the door. In another version, the terrified young woman hides in a closet, and the haunting scratches come from right outside the closet door. It's a classic example of what urban legends are all about.
They're about things that are alien, that cross borders and enter domestic space. They enter our homes, they enter our communities, they enter our countries, and in some instances, they enter our bodies. And there are legends about keeping things out.
Such stories have an impact on our culture. Keeping out the dangers of legend is the business of home security experts who have their own ideas about the tale of the roommate's death.
It's obviously very plausible. Did that exact one happen? Who knows? Why does it resonate? Because we're all afraid.
And that fear has inspired the ultimate in home security, SafeCore. More than a panic room, it's a whole section of a house turned into a security bunker, but with all the comforts of home.
They're virtually 30-day sanctuaries between their fuel supplies for their generators, their food, their water, their entertainment capabilities.
The SafeCore is entered through special doors made of Kevlar and steel. Imported from Italy, They're resistant to armor-piercing bullets. And they're equipped with elaborate locking systems. The bed rests on a twin Kevlar frame that deflects gun blasts from below. The house is also fireproof. It has its own helipad for escape and features a system of cameras that can spot danger coming.
Long before you've ever reached the house, you've already been detected, recorded. There's evidence of who you are. The detection system detects an intruder. The monitor goes on, and the cameras lock in on him. A small chime goes off, so it wakes you up, and you know to look. You look, and there's this image of this person coming at your house. Well, the first thing you do is reach over and you touch a button on your telephone, and you say, "What do you think you're doing?"
But if the intruder is on a mission of murder, a warning may not be enough.
If the person has made it all the way into the house, up the staircase, and is standing in what we call the red zones, outside bedroom doors, you have to pretty much figure at that point the person's not there to do good by you.
So, in some countries, safe houses are not only designed to protect, but to take the offensive against anyone in the red zone.
There are two very easily devised systems. One delivers a series of shotgun blasts through the ceiling straight down out of short barrels, typically 5 shots at a time.
The second system involves 4-inch spikes that will shoot up through the floor, piercing the assailant's feet and delivering a 100-amp electric shock.
And then it delivers 100 amps, which fries any of the meat that hits it.
All very intimidating. But college girls rarely live with this kind of security, which means an intruder could still get away with murder. But is it possible we're responding to an out-of-date message? Violent crimes do take place on college campuses. But today's security at a typical university is far different from what existed in the 60s, when the legend of the roommate's death was born.
Prior to the early 70s, campus police officers were security, but then when the Vietnam War heated up and we started having campus unrest, the universities felt that it was important to have their own police forces in place who were sensitive to the issues on campus. We have a crime prevention officer. That person, that officer, actually conducts meetings with the various different groups on campus. We have a campus watch group. We have a self-defense course for women. We have a campus watch group on campus that specifically deals with crime prevention techniques. We also have a neighborhood watch program at the dorms where the students who live on campus are taught how to protect themselves and how to avoid crimes. Most definitely I feel that crime has dropped on college campuses because of the police departments we have here. The reality is it's a safe atmosphere.
And so, while the legend of the roommate's death is possible, it's untrue. While this legend involves death on the doorstep, another legend suggests the potential for death at 30,000 feet.